It's time to go on a field trip. We're heading to the Colin River today. I hope that you've packed your wellies because you're going to be splashing around in this river, and we're going to be having a great time seeing geography happen in the real world. Is the kind of thing I would love to have been saying to you as we got onto a bus outside of Lurgan College, but in these days of social distancing, field trips are unfortunately not able to happen anymore, or at least not for a while. So today we're going to do the next best thing, which is to have a virtual field trip courtesy of Google Earth, and we're going to go all the way from Lurgan to the Colin River. So that journey would take us about half an hour in the bus, but courtesy of Google Earth we can do it like this. Here we go. Boom. We're leaving Lurgan behind and we're heading over towards Belfast, and there is marked in blue the Colin River. Now this is the main river in Belfast, of course, the River Lagan. The Colin River starts here and actually flows in as a tributary into the Lagan and eventually in there. But we in our virtual field trip are going to be studying this little area here, and that brings us down into places like the Colin Glen. But let's go up towards where the river starts. Do you remember the name given to the place where the river starts? Let's head there now. Yeah, we're going to the source. The source of the Colin River is up on top of Divis Mountain, and you can see Belfast in here down below, and here is the river itself up in the source. So let's go in and have a little bit of a closer look at what the characteristics are like in and around about the source, and we can do this courtesy of Street View. Now, this would actually be survey site number 1. It's taken us half an hour to drive up to this area, and we would have parked the coach there and then walked here. Now, for me at hiking pace, that's maybe 10-minute walk, but fieldwork walking pace in my experience is extremely slow. So by the time we'd got you all down here, and by the time you'd all had your chat and your wellies on, it would have taken a bit of time. But this is where we would have been. This is where we would have seen it beginning. And there's the river down there. I would have stood on this bridge. I would have got you gathered here, and I would have given you some instructions about what to do. So you can have a look around here and get a bit of a sense of the area where the source is. There's the river kind of disappearing up in there. And I have some questions for you. And these are exactly the questions I would have asked if I'd been standing on this bridge talking to you. The source of the Colin River is in Divis Mountain, as I've said. This is a flat-topped mountain, as you can see. You might be used to mountains being pokey in the top and very steep in the top. The mountains beside Belfast are very flat in the top. But if you spin around here, take a look at the vegetation. I need you to describe the vegetation. Now, I need you to refer to the grass, what it's like, and the trees. What trees, you may say? Exactly. The soil here is not very free draining, so the water and the rain, whenever it falls down here, the soil is already pretty waterlogged, so it tends to flow very quickly into the river. If the soil is waterlogged, then there's going to be less, what process begins with I? There's going to be less infiltration. And there's going to be less infiltration. There is going to be more surface runoff into the river. The water flows into the river really very quickly indeed. So have a go at answering those questions. So that's survey site number 1. Let's move on down the river a little bit. We're zooming back out again, and we're coming down to this part of the river. This is the Colin River again, and there's another little bridge. There's the Colin River. Now this time, you will notice that this is incredibly different from the previous site. Do you remember I got you to describe the trees in the previous site? What trees? Exactly the point. Well, you'll notice it's very, very different here. Now, this might lead you to think that you're still way, way out in the countryside. But are you? Let's have a look. Oh, it would appear not. It would appear that you have come from the source up here down into the suburbs of West Belfast. So even when we are walking down here, albeit today in the virtual sense, not the literal sense, you're not walking in the countryside anymore, you are in the suburbs. Now, I hope you remember from rivers the impact that will have on some of the processes that are going on. So if you've got an urban area here, you're going to have what type of surface? Now this is a type of surface that doesn't allow the rainfall to infiltrate into. Begins with I as well. What's it called? It's an impermeable surface. Now there are a few other things as well that are important here, so let's go into a closer area and have a look. I'm going to zoom round and fly under the ground apparently, and up we come here to, there's the Colin Glen, right? So there's where we had those trees and things like this, and this is some of the housing close by. Now I want you to notice this guttering here in the drains. So the rain that falls on the roof goes into the gutter, down the drain and into the sewage system. Now that takes it away from here very, very quickly. Let's come back down the road a little bit. If the water falls onto the tarmac here or onto the pavement, it's an impermeable surface, so you're going to get surface runoff, less infiltration, and it's going to go down the drain. Now my question to you is this: where do you think those drains end up? We'll have we look at that in due course. But have we think, where do they flow to? Okay, let's go back into the river itself. That's a little bit of the context from it. But I want to give you a wee bit of a sense of what this river would be like. This is back to that bridge that we were just at a few moments ago. There's a few guys down there exploring it. And I want to give you a bit of a sense of what this river is like at this location. So take a look at this video. So this site is known as Try Bridge. There's the bridge that's up there, and it's the first site that we come into that is managed by the Colin Glen Trust, and the management is pretty obvious here. You can see running along the side of the river some of these boulders that have been placed to maintain the river's position. The reason why they'll want to do that is to protect the bridge that's there. There's boulders on the other side as well, and these are designed to protect that bank from erosion because there's a path up there, and if that bank erodes, the path could be undermined and fall down as well. So this is Try Bridge, and as we move down to the next site, past these defences, we look down towards this part of the river. It looks very, very straight, unusually so. And that's because, again, it's been managed by a human intervention. In fact, there are granite slabs down on the base of this river at this point to stop vertical erosion, as well as the boulders at the side to stop lateral erosion. And it runs down in a series of kind of mini waterfalls that are running down towards the bottom there. And the next site we go to, we'll come out the other side of that and we'll see the effect that this part of the river, this artificially straightened, in fact also artificially narrowed part of the river, the water funneling down here, we'll see the effect that has on the river further on downstream. Now, I'm hoping that there was audio to that video, otherwise that was a bit random. It should have been playing through my speakers. It didn't play here, but if it didn't get any audio in this video here, you can go into this Google Earth tour and watch that for yourself. Okay, so that would have been survey point number 2, Try Bridge. We would have come and collected our data here. Let's just take one more look at one other section of the Colin River, and it's a little bit further down, and it's somewhere called Weir Bridge. Okay, now this is the weir here. This is looking like a waterfall, but it's actually constructed by people. And so you've got this little weir here, and you've got a bridge running across it. And in particular, I want you to look at these. These are called gabions, which are rock-filled cages, which are put at the side there to try and stop the erosion of the river. This river is a very, very energetic river because it rises and falls in its discharge very, very quickly. And you can have very high energy times with this river and it can cause a lot of erosion. So I'm going to play this video again. I hope there's sound with this one, and it'll show you some of the impacts that very high energy can have on the river itself. Let's take a wee watch of this. And this is a view from the bottom of the weir here, where you can get a much even greater sense of just how much energy has been involved in eroding away those gabions, and the bank being eroded out as a result of that. There they are, they'll swing on round. Again, there actually is some more evidence of the gabions having been eroded. An old cage of them carried down here. And the geology of the area, all that mudstone, not very resistant to erosion at all. So that's given you, I hope, a little bit of a sense of the overview of the Colin River, give you a little bit of an idea of this field trip that we would have had, starting off here, coming down and walking our way through this river itself, and giving you a little bit more of a feel for it. So as we move on to the tasks and start to do some of the activities in Google Classroom, hopefully now you're going to get a little bit of a sense of what this river is that we're going to be working on. So I hope that you've enjoyed our virtual field trip today. I hope that you didn't get too wet and not too much water down your wellies. Time to get on the bus, time to head home. And you know what? Shall we stop at McDonald's on the way back? Oh, no, wait, we can't. McDonald's isn't open yet. Ah, well, I'm afraid that there's nothing that I can do to virtually replace that. You'll just have to hold on until it opens again. But thanks for coming on this trip today. Safe home, everybody.